Good evening, everyone, and welcome. Afternoon, whatever time it is, welcome for being here tonight. It is 768, day 768. I hope everything's okay. I've been having a crazy time getting everything back in order. As you can tell, I am not in Ukraine anymore. I have made it safely home. And if you guys wouldn't mind, just let me know in the chat if everything's okay on the audio side. I took so much gear over to make all of this happen that coming back, and I just got back Saturday night. Yes, we pulled the fast one on everybody and got it done when nobody knew I was traveling. Had a good time there. And I see Ingenious in the chat. Oh my goodness, I'm not gonna be able to keep up tonight. So I'm halfway back in order there. There's Ingenious. Hello from Ukraine. Thank you, friends, for all you do for Ukraine, UA. So I'm pretty much dialed in, but if you guys don't mind, let me know. Okay, all good, Greg. Thank you, guys. Thank you. So, I also see Prof. Gertis up in the house tonight. Judy Emmerich, welcome home. Thank you. And I'm going to be home for a little bit, and I'll be heading back. So you guys have done so wonderful in all of us coming together to make a huge difference in Ukraine that I'm in the process right now of adjusting my visa status. In fact, Jania and our team, they're on the ground. There's Prof. Gertis. Howdy. There's the man. In process of making some adjustments on what we have to do for me, because I want to get it to where I can come and go. And, you know, for some people, you may go, well, that's a lot of travel. Guys, I've traveled my entire life. Well, you put them all together, I'm a 2 million miler, but I'm a 1.5 million miler on Delta. I've been doing this my entire life. And for me, hopping on a plane and heading to Ukraine or any other part of the globe is the same as you would be hopping in your car and heading to Walmart or wherever you go. So it's normal for me. And this is a time in history where if we do not all come together and do what is right, we're going to wake up in a completely different world tomorrow or the next week or a year from now. And all of us together are taking a stand, and all of us have different jobs to do. And together we make a great team. I do see Prof. Gertis in here tonight. And, you know, part of what he does is the analysis on the political side of it. And not only looking at the news, but his political understanding. And of course, he comes from a Republican right, Ronald Reagan, the picture over there. But at the same time, Prof is so open to other mindsets and thoughts. He's anti-Trump. He's not voting for Trump, nor am I. I wouldn't vote for Trump. If he was the only man on the ballot, I'd write in, let's see, who's last in the chat? Elvin Archer. I'd write in Elvin Archer over Donald Trump. But that's what I'm saying. This is what's so beautiful. Tone says it really good this way, and I'll try to keep you here. Tone says, all explorers, Shilly babies, JP team, travelers, rollers, good to see you. And of course, you guys know, Dickie Dawson tried to name our channel the Terriers, but that ain't happening, guys. We're the Hope Train because we're bringing hope all over the world. We're going to give you this, and then we're going to jump in. It does feel good. I'm back in here where I've got all my buttons and all this stuff, and it just makes me happy because this is what I'm looking at now with all my toys here. So I feel so much better with this. I got all my buttons to push. The problem is my buttons are all going different ways. But let's look at a few things before we jump in. I'm going to give you an update on the front lines tonight. Also some other news items, some bad news and some good news, and an aid drop that we did. We had to wait to show this one because it was so close to the front lines and the guys we were working with. So you're going to see that in a few minutes as well. So thank you. But guys, if you look behind me here, take a look at all those patches. Now those patches aren't for me only, although they were given to me. They're for you. And the beauty of it is all these different units we are helping and working with. So that is you. And I've got more, guys. I just ran out of Velcro. Look here. There's more going up. We help all these units. So, of course, up there, I even got name tags. You see Fish up there. And besides that is Dentist and Himic, all these guys that have pulled their call signs right off. And then you see Project Konstantin. You see Azov, of course, at the top, the 3rd Assault 2nd Rifle there. The red one there with the, maybe I'll go through these one night because some of these are like crazy rare. This one right here. That red one, yeah, crazy rare. Of course, the Criminaya from Pete that he gave me, but maybe we'll do that one night. But thank you. You guys are doing all of that. If you look over this way, up on the wall, you see an award or a gift from the Crinky guys. That is the amber up there to the right of the clock. And to the right of that, you guys see, if you did not see the episode with Kirill's birthday, make sure you go check that out. You'll see where Kirill actually gave me that. And you guys remember? I told him, I said, Kirill, when I get home, it will be on the wall in my office. And guys, another promise fulfilled. That's Kirill's artwork hanging up on the wall, just like we promised. So Kirill, there it is, buddy. All right, so let's jump in, guys. A big update. Thank you all for being here. And, you know, I used to go at 9 o'clock Eastern, but I'm adjusting that now because there's so many people international. I'm trying to fine tune the time. So hopefully I'm, you know, trying to step on Johnny, and Prof. Gertis is always at different times. And then Mercado's later in the evening. So somewhere right in this area is probably going to be the slot that I'm going to try to wiggle in. And that way we can all be a part and do our job. So thank you guys for everything. Let's get going tonight. You guys know what's coming. So we're going to look at the front line for just a few moments here. And I'll give you guys some update on what that is. I'm telling you, I got buttons everywhere and all my buttons are messed up. Let's go to that one right there. All right, guys, I'm going to give you this really quickly because I want to jump to some other stuff because up here in Chernihiv, and of course, you guys know this is the capital of Kyiv right here, and then this is the border, and this is all Russia, and this is Belarus. And we are in Chernihiv, basically. This area here, you have DRG coming across the border, doing what they do, and you have shelling, and you have glide bombs. In Sumy, and the border continues down here, glide bombs nonstop. DRG nonstop. The border guards are doing a wonderful job, and this is a compliment to the Ukrainian border guards. They are doing a phenomenal job defending against the DRG right in this area here. It's very, very hot, and the guys are doing a phenomenal job. Stretched thin a little bit, to be quite honest, but they're doing really good. That's that. I want to spend a little time tonight talking about Kharkiv, right here. Guys, you know what? I know Ingenious in here, Prof. Gertis is in here, Johnny somewhere. We may have different opinions of this, but this is my opinion. Kharkiv's in trouble. Kharkiv is in trouble. Not that it's going to fall, but it's just going to continue to get smashed. The glide bombs, the S-300s, the MLRS, it is non-stop. There's JR. This is one. JR is actually did one of the challenges for raising money for our snatches. And guys, you will get an update on the snatches tomorrow. Our offices have been closed for Easter. Tomorrow you will get an update on the snatch. How active is the border between Ukraine and Belarus versus the border with Russia? Do they still attack from Belarus with troops? No. There may be a little bit of DRG that sneaks in through Belarus coming down into Chernihiv. In fact, I can come back up here as soon as I hit the right buttons. Boy, you can tell I'm out of practice. I've been running around Ukraine too long. Let's change it to blue. And the marker. All right, basically, I'm rough. Oh, Lord. Somebody, you got to pray for me. I guess I'm on the other time zone. How do I hit that button? All right, we're going back in again one more time, and we'll try it again. All right, now we're rolling, I hope. Yes, pencil. Okay, now Ukraine border. All through here. And then I'm going to change it to red. This is the holy moly. That's the border between Belarus. This is Belarus. How about that? And this is Russia. Chernihiv is right here. There may be a little bit of activity coming through there, but not much. All of this border here, dead silent. There's nothing going on here other than Ukraine. They do have to maintain some troops up there on that border just in case, but it's quiet. Really, the areas of trouble are in this area above Sumy and then coming down into Kharkiv. And if anybody jumps on the stream right now, they're going to go, what on earth is that map? But you guys that were watching it real time, you get it. So thank you. So that's the answer there. Now, back to Kharkiv. I'm concerned about Kharkiv because the glide bombs are nonstop. And Kharkiv already is really struggling with their energy infrastructure. And I read something today, and I know Ingenious in here, and he can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. The typical population of Kharkiv is 1.3 million people, guys. It's a massive, massive city. Massive. And of course, many people have left, but there's still a really healthy population in Kharkiv. I do not know if there's still 1 million people there or not. I highly doubt it, but there's definitely upwards of 1 million people still there. I'm not sure it's going to stay that way right now because it is getting much more dangerous. But today, the mayor of Kharkiv came out and says, due to the damage that is happening to our city throughout the 2 years of war, 2+, and now with the energy that is being demolished in our city, we have lost housing for 150,000 people. So let's put the number at 1 million to make it easy. They've lost 15% of their housing capability in Kharkiv. These are the reasons that I'm really concerned with Kharkiv. Not that it's going to continue to be shelled and bombed with the glide bombs. Guys, they can drop these glide bombs now 90 kilometers away. So this is the border. They don't even have to bring their planes anywhere near Ukraine. They can fly them up here in Belgorod. Just fly them right through here, drop it, and glide the bombs right into Kharkiv. From the center of Kharkiv right there into the center of Belgorod is 90 kilometers. If there was no border and Ingenious driving, you're there in 30 minutes. He flies. No, but really, under an hour, you're in Kharkiv and you're in Belgorod if there was no border and there was no war and you just were driving between the two cities. That's how close they are. So they're dropping these glide bombs and they're smashing them. They're not only dropping them there, they're dropping them now along the entire front line. It's a completely different change or adjustment in their attack strategy. Now, let's come down. This is the most stable piece of the puzzle right here. Of course, this is Kupiansk. I can zoom in for you. You can see Kupiansk there. And everybody keeps saying there's going to be a battle for Kupiansk, and there will be. There will be. But Ukraine doing a really good job holding the ISW maps here, which I prefer the most. I think they're the most accurate. The gold actually is forward-leaning Russian pressure or possible Russian control. That's how they define it. And it's still going to be very difficult to move into Kupiansk, but Ukraine doing a good job there. If I come on down, you can see the gold leaning. I'm not really worried about any of these places. There's just, it's rural. You come down, this is the Seversk pocket, and this one could be a little trouble going forward, but We're getting pressure from the north here and a little pressure from the south. But this is Seversk, and of course, this comes into Slavyansk and Kramatorsk. But for the most part, Ukraine doing a really, really, really good job holding this area. As brutal as it is, as brutal as it is, they're doing a really, really good job. Now we come down to trouble. All the latest that I was checking on today, right before the stream, to make sure I was accurate to the up to the date, up to the minute. Conflicting reports here if Ukraine is completely out of Ivanivsky or not. Both sides are saying no, there's still a little presence there. Others are saying no, Russia has Ivanivsky. We'll see. But regardless, Ivanivsky's in trouble and will fall. The battle coming now is going to be for Chasiv Yar. And unfortunately, the latest I was seeing today was Russia coming in here, getting the high ground, and this push to the high ground. And remember what I taught you guys. Whenever you see the word Yar in the name of a city, that actually means ravine. Okay, so this pocket here of Chasiv Yar is in a ravine. So if you have the high ground, it's the same thing I was talking about the other night with Johnny and also with Andrew Mercado. Some of these cities and towns that Ukraine is holding on to right now, it's awesome they're holding on to them and they're doing an amazing job, but these towns are strategically difficult to hold on to. For example, Chasiv Yar is in a hole. It's down low. Whoever gets the high ground is going to have the advantage, of course. The same situation is with Kharkiv down on the south, and we'll look at that in a moment. So Chasiv Yar right now being glide bombed, being droned to pieces, but Ukraine hanging on there. It's very tough, and in my opinion, it's just a matter of time before that one's going to fall. Now, down here below and outside of Avdiivka, you guys remember when we were talking for years and so much about Avdiivka? This is the city of Avdiivka. I'm outlining it in the blue for you. Now, of course, it's gone. And Russia really making a push here to the west outside of Avdiivka. Nobody's talking about this, but I keep trying to bring this up when I do it with Johnny's streams and he's analyzing the maps. I have a deep concern here, and nobody's talking about it, but time will tell. It's this town right here. I'm going to outline it for you. It's Krasnogorivka, right here. Now, Chasiv Yar pre-war has 11,500 to 12,000 people in it. It's a decent city. Wherever you're living at tonight, wherever you are, think about towns that you know that have that population and what size it is. It's pretty good size. It's not a little village. Well, Krasnogorivka, pre-war, population 16,000. It's even bigger than Chasiv Yar. You say, well, how does that relate maybe to another city like Bakhmut that's famous? Well, Bakhmut was up to 100,000 people, so a larger town. But Krasnogorivka, 16,000. And once again, this is it, guys. This town right here, and with Russia moving in here, when you see the solid red on the ISW, it is 100% confirmed Russian control. The gold is the leaning Russian way. So the problem here is if Krasnogorivka falls, and they're going to go for it, then there's not much left all the way to Pokrovsk. And you say, well, what do you mean? That's still a pretty good hop. It is a pretty good hop, but between Kharkiv and these couple of villages here, pushing up to Pokrovsk, there's nothing but fields, guys. Really, it's so rural. And Krasnogorivka is going to be one of the last larger urban settlements where Ukraine can hold themselves and have a way to supply. The other thing that you have to remember, and people don't talk about this too much, but I want to talk about it. Do you see here the city of Donetsk? Okay. How big is Donetsk? Over 1 million. It's massive. Okay. For those of you that are here, that you're Rick Rollers, he's from Makivka. Rick is from here. I'm not showing anything private. He tells it all the time. It's on his bio. He's from Makivka, which is a suburb basically of Donetsk. So here's Avdiivka. Here's Gorlivka. Do you see how easy it is for Russia to supply? They can get supply into their frontline troops so simply because this is so urban, and so many roads and ways to hide and ways to sneak stuff in, whatever. Ukraine, you have Kharkiv, you've got Krasnogorivka. Let me change the color. You've got Kharkiv, Krasnogorivka, you've got Himik, Ukrainsk, Novogrodivka, Pokrovsk, Mirnograd. Everything else is fields, literally fields. So Ukraine being able to supply in to hold here, I'm just being honest, in my opinion, is going to be a very, very big challenge. So we'll see. We'll see. This is why we do what we do. Last thing I want to show you guys here on this is Robotny. Robotny's right here. Below Kharkiv. I'm going to be showing you guys probably tomorrow. Zhenya and I were dropping aid here, and we had to wait a few days to be able to share that. But Kharkiv is another town, 8 to 10, 11, 12,000 pre-war. And guys, this whole line here is a deep ravine. I mean, literally like a valley, to be quite honest. You come up north of Kharkiv up here, you're on a big hill looking down. And here on the south, where Russia controls, is up on a hill. All of this is down low, which makes it even more difficult for Ukraine to hold. And for them to even be holding it is just a testament to how good these soldiers are. Could you imagine if they had supply, what they could be doing? But this is another place where Russia coming in, getting high ground. And we'll have to watch it. Time will tell. It's what we like to say. Time will tell. Additionally from that, Kherson, I'll come here and then I'm going to talk to you about Kherson and show you something in a second. But Kherson, nonstop. You know, Zhenya made that video one time. Nonstop, nonstop, nonstop. Mining is my question. Does Ukraine have these fields mined? Yes, Ukraine does mine their territory, 100%. And then I saw somebody else in here was talking about supply lines was your question. The chat's going so fast and I'm trying to keep up. But supply line is a big deal out there in the east and the south. So that's where we're at on that. Let me get back to here. That's your frontline update. Zmiv thermal power plant. Where is the Zmiv thermal power plant? I want to show it to you right now. I'll go here. This is the Zmiv power plant. Let me switch to this one. All right. This is Kharkiv. The front line's down here like this. Well, Bakhmut's gone like this. Okay. Right here on this arrow is where the Zmiv power plant is, thermal power plant is, that was destroyed. The numbers I've been seeing, and I'll zoom in for you now, the numbers that I've been seeing, because I was looking it up and concerned about it, is 6 years to replace this. And this was a major power plant, and I can't drop that there. Let me do it this way then. You can see it here. You see the towers there, the cooling towers, completely destroyed. Completely destroyed. Done. And this is Le Mans, not the Le Mans in the east. This is a different Le Mans, and this is outside Zmiv. Zmiv is right here. Zhenya and I've done a lot of work in Zmiv. You guys have helped people in Zmiv, and you come down from Zmiv and you come to that power plant right there. But it's gone. It's done. 6 years. 6 years to repair it. 6 years. Kharkiv. This is what the mayor put out today. Just take a look at this picture, guys. That is a picture from Kharkiv. And 150,000. And what the mayor said was basically 150,000 now in Kharkiv are homeless. 150,000. We're not even talking about the power outages completely. We're not talking about the metro's not working, the stoplights not working. And yes, Kharkiv has a massive underground subway system. Guys, Kharkiv is a huge, huge city. I keep repeating it, but it's worth repeating. It's massive, massive, massive. The second largest city in Ukraine behind Kyiv is Kharkiv. Dnipro is huge. Zaporizhia is huge. Lviv is very large. Kyiv, of course. But Kharkiv is a monster. Donetsk is a monster. Large city that's occupied right now. But Kharkiv is just massive, and they're really struggling with their infrastructure. Big time. So the mayor tried to put out information today so people can understand we're putting the population at 1 million. So think 15% of the population is homeless. They're having to live with other people. They do not have money to go jump in a hotel. I promise you. They're moving in together or they're leaving. And I imagine we're going to see that. And international news is not covering this. Why? Because there is not an international news person within 50 kilometers of Kharkiv. It's crazy, guys. Here's some good news. Ukraine is fortifying. And I know people will look at that and go, hold on, that's bad news. No, folks, that's good news. This is a war of attrition here. And Ukraine is finally doing what they're supposed to be doing in regard to defenses. And I'm telling you, from my experience driving around all over the front lines of Ukraine, Virginia, we have seen these by the hundreds of kilometers, literally hundreds of kilometers of new fortifications being built, new defensive lines being built, new anti-tank lines being built. Now, unfortunately, some of these are 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 kilometers from the current front lines. You heard that right. 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 kilometers from the current front lines. I'll repeat that for you one more time. These are not 2 kilometers from the front line, guys. They're 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 kilometers from the current front lines. Why? Because if Ukraine is not supplied, this is where the front lines are going to be. 30, 40, 50, 60, and 70 kilometers from where they currently are. Ukraine is finally preparing their proper defensive positions. This was one of the issues that Ukraine had with Zelensky. And Zelensky was a good guy and still is a good guy, but their defenses were not prepared properly. Whether that's on Zelensky or not, I mean, ultimately it is, as he was a general. Ultimately, it comes down to President Zelensky, if you want to be quite honest. He's the commander-in-chief. And they were not prepared. Maybe they were hoping that the world was going to supply, and they just said, okay, we're going to risk it. We're going to get to that front and defend it and just hope the world kicks in. But that's not working too well for us at all. That's not working too well for us at all. Hopefully it will change. We'll talk more about that in a second. We see these everywhere. The dragon's teeth, 3 layers of dragon's teeth, hundreds of kilometers of miles, hundreds of kilometers. Folks, I'm not telling you anything that's not public. Zelensky said in an interview with the Washington Post that if Ukraine is not supplied, they may have to retreat. I'm not telling you. The president said it, so I can say it. And I got news for you. If they're not supplied, they will be retreating. I would agree completely because they can't hold out. So fortunately, these defensive lines are being put into place here. So we'll see. We'll see, but it's a challenge. Imagine, Desaid says, imagine how many people need to be stationed in that trench line the whole of 24, 48 hours, 2 to 3 rotations per stretch of trench line. You are exactly correct, and I know you are a veteran, sir, so thank you. 5,000 helmets. Trenches and fortifications is war saving. Yes, they are still doing it. in an expedited fashion because there's no guarantee of when anything's coming. That let's just be honest with it. Let's be honest with it. So Ukraine is finally doing what is right and good. Now, you know what? I'm going to let Zhenya, if you're still in the chat, would you please say something? I'm going to show you guys this graphic here, and I'm going to explain it to you. I'll translate it for you. But this one bugs me personally. Bugs me. And instead of me talking about it, okay, Zhenya's here. All right. Zhenya's here. So let me pop this in first. All right. He's here. All right. This is a graphic. Translated says, the percentage of city budgets that are going towards the war effort in 2023. Now, some of these are amazing. Some of these I'm really struggling with. 38% of Zhytomyr's city budget has went for the war effort. Our home city of Khmelnytsky, number 2, 37% of the city budget has went to the war effort. Poltava, 14%. Kyiv, 14%. Cherkasy, 10%. Mykolaiv, 10%. Ivano-Frankivsk, 10%. Chernigiv, 10%. Odessa, 9%. Rivne, 9%. You come all the way down, we'll jump down to the bottom. Kharkiv, 2%. Okay. Vinnytsia, 2%. Zaporizhia, 4%. Ternopil, 5%. Lviv, 6%. I don't understand that. You come here, guys, because we'll tell you the truth. And we're there. Zhenya's right now. James is in here. Why Ukraine? The Last Alliance. Make sure you've subscribed to James. He is in Ukraine, and I respect James because he's there. Period. I don't understand this, to be quite honest. Why is some of these percentages so low? I'm very happy about Zhytomyr and Khmelnytsky and Poltava and Kyiv. I understand Kyiv is a massive city in the capital. They have to allocate X amount percentage because they've got to keep the country going. But why are some of these big cities, Zhenya, 2% and 4% and 6% and 7%? I don't get it. Something's wrong. That's what I'm saying. Something's wrong. There should be stuff coming. And I know Ukraine is fighting the corruption battle and they're doing a good job overall, but it's a challenge. But the bottom line is this number should be changed. These percentages should be different. I mean, I'm not a mathematician, but I'm logical. Why is Kharkiv only given 2% of their city budget to the war effort when Khmelnytsky is giving 37% and Zhytomyr's giving 38%? Why can't we just move it to where everybody's at 10%, 12%? I don't know. I don't know. And what really bothers me is Kharkiv 2% is right on the front line and now needing so much additional help. They've been pumping in 2%. Zaporizhia, frontline city, basically 4%. Ternopil and Lviv get it. Sumy, 6%. Kherson, 6%. Kherson's destroyed, by the way. James is here. What Greg is talking about, many Ukrainians are angry about this. Yeah, it's simple. Does it include refugees, cost, repair, and stuff? No, this is just going to the war effort. And I'm not going to belabor it, but you come here and 461 watching right now. You're watching because we try, along with the others in our partnerships here, to tell you the truth. And the truth is, this one needs to be adjusted. That's all I'm going to say. But we're here to tell you the truth. That doesn't change anything about support of Ukraine and what we're doing. And we're here fighting for humanity, and we're here to do what is right, and we will continue to do what is right. But some of these things. All right, let me take it the next level. Let me take it the next level. When governments of foreign nations look at statistics like this, these are the very reasons, part of the reasons, that European nations or the United States or other nations around the world are beginning to drag their feet sometimes with support. I just have to believe that if they do not have that personal understanding, or they're lost, or they're under the magical spell of the Russian propaganda, and then they begin to see these statistics. And guys, these statistics are released by Ukraine. This is a Ukrainian statistic I'm giving you. And they look at that and they go, okay, well, why am I going to kick in all of this when Kharkiv's kicking in 2% of their city budget? It just needs to be adjusted. That's all I'm saying. And I'm telling you, it needs to be adjusted. Now, some good news. Bad month for the Russian Black Sea Fleet. We have sunk the patrol ship Sergei Kotov. That's gone. Hit the Konstantin Olshansky, Ivan Kuros, Yamal, and the large landing ship Azov. So I'll tell you one thing. Not to have a navy, Ukraine is dominating the Black Sea. It's just amazing. Their technology, the ingenuity of their drone operators, everything that they are doing. Oh, I've got it going now. People are enjoying this. Would it be cities too close to Frontline are doing a lot to protect their city with city funds, not coding it for the war, just police need to protect the city from anything? I've been in all of these cities. The reality is, guys, I mean, we think, okay, if you're not there live, like in the war, like James is there and he just said, you know, this is what people inside Ukraine are talking about. They are talking about it because it's not a city war. It's not a regional war. It's not just a national war. We all understand here that we're basically staring World War III in the eyeballs. But for Ukraine, it's a national war. And the nation needs to pull together. And I don't know how or what they need to do to fix it, or even to give it the appearance. If they're allocating funds different ways to do different things, you've got to make it right. You've got to make it fair. You've got to make it look right for the international community and be right so that you can rally more support. And it would seem logically to me that some of these frontline cities, it's definitely got to be more than 2%. Hey guys, guess who's in here? Fish is in here. Привіт, bro. Ти уже вдома? He says, hello, brother. Are you already home? Yes, sir, I am home. And Fish, take a look at this, bud. Take a look, Fish. I would like to draw your attention, Fish, to right there. Guys, the picture you see of our hero, Fish, this is actually, get my hand there, that's his call sign. Right off of his jacket, he gave it. So there you go, Fish. Mertzy, I saw your email. I got it, and yeah, I'll be mailing you. We'll meet, buddy. You're up the road from me. That'll be awesome. So Fish. Welcome to Fish, and there is his call sign up there. So thank you, buddy. So doing good there, and the other topic is just, it's a big deal, guys. We need to focus on it. Now, some more good news. How about this? Ukraine, over the Black Sea, took down, and this is a $7 million drone. Take a look at that, guys. A $7 million drone. Russian drone that is not only capable of satellite mapping in 3D to the highest tech, thermal, night vision, everything. Additionally, it can carry up to 2 missiles, literally 2 missiles. I do not know exactly which ones, but it can carry, plus an additional payload of droppable munitions. It's a monster machine. It's called the Fortipost, and Ukraine took one out over the Black Sea. So that really, really, really good. Pete Brady here. You know what? Let's talk about it. I can't understand why some Ukrainian people do not want to defend their homeland, protect their family's future. They have had bad treatment under the heel of the Soviet Union and before that. Pete Brady, you're exactly right. So that's a topic for you know what? That'll be a question that we'll do with Zhenya here one night. So Zhenya, be ready for that one. It's extremely complicated, but definitely we'll hit that one. So very, very, very good there. So we do have some good news, guys, and we're very thankful for that. Now, I received an email from some people that are watching out for me, and there's Zhenya. He said, we'll be ready for that conversation. That'll be good. And guys, I sent the message out immediately. So I was contacted by multiple people. I have people that are helping me, and a lot of nerds, a lot of our Ukrainian nerds, and I call them nerds because they're so stinking smart. But I received a couple of emails that says, Greg, change your password immediately. You've been hacked. And I said, hold on, I haven't been hacked. Everything is in place on my YouTube. Everything's good. And they sent me the screen where my YouTube was compromised. They said, they haven't got you yet, but they got you. Change your password now and tell all your streaming buddies to change their password. So I messaged Prof. Gertis, and I messaged Rick, and I messaged Johnny. I said, guys, change your passwords right now. Why? I just did it. I said, listen, change your password right now. I don't care if you changed it 30 minutes ago. I just got the message. And when the message came to me, the person actually gave me my password. Now, a trusted person for me, listen, guys, gave me my password. They didn't know my password, but they gave it to me. I said, oh, this is legit. And we made those changes. Yeah, why Ukraine? Make sure you change your password. Merc, if you're in here, make sure you change your password. I'll tell Mercado later. Everybody change your passwords because it was smashed. Now, 50,000 bots are on X, formerly known as Twitter, smashing the fake news. 200,000 posts per day. I know that Johnny, I know that Professor Gertis, I know that others have done analysis of this where I think it was, it might even been Andrew Mercado. I can't remember, but they went in and started analyzing all the replies on Twitter, and the people were completely bots. No followers, following nobody, nothing, but out there just smashing it. And this is a war of media, not only a war on the front lines, but a war of misinformation and a war of the media. So guys, my encouragement for you tonight is this: make sure you're watching reputable sources. We've got a great alliance here. There you go, James. A great alliance here of really good pro-Ukrainian YouTube streamers who actually do what they say they're going to do and work together to make a huge difference there inside Ukraine and around the world by educating and informing and updating and news, and everybody brings their strengths to the table. We care about all of you guys. Make sure that you're even securing your stuff. In addition to that, make sure that you're feeding out of a good, clean pond where you get your drinking water from, meaning where you get your source of information from. And I know that you guys do. You're very, very, very sharp on that. So be careful, be careful, be careful. There's a lot of mess out there. April the 9th, mark it on your calendar. Supposedly, Johnson said Ukraine issue and support will be taken up on April the 9th. Fortunately, that is only 8 days away. Unfortunately, it is still 8 days away as they are on their Easter vacation, eating chocolate eggs and running around with bunnies. I don't know, while Ukraine's trying to hang on, needing supply yesterday. So we shall see. F-16s, I saw people chatting about that earlier. Earliest F-16s are saying now in country is July. I'm still holding to my September at the earliest. We'll see. It is April the 1st. Remember, they were going to be there in December, and then January, and then February, and then March, and now we're in April. Additionally, Greece, Czech, all those nations coming in with supplies, and European nations working. France sending some of their equipment that is out of order or been delisted into Ukraine. All this stuff is coming, guys. It needs to get there yesterday. So keep your pressure up. For those of you that message your deputies there, or whatever they're called in Europe, or you're messaging a congressman here in the United States, continue, because without it, we're in trouble. So we shall see. We shall see. April the 9th, mark it on your calendar. We'll see what happens as far as that. Now, you guys heard of John Joseph Mearsheimer? Who is John Joseph Mearsheimer? I think he is related to John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt. His name is my name too. Isn't that what it is? John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt. His name is your name too. Something. First of all, this guy's American political scientist, international relations scholar, belongs to the realist school of thought. He is the R. Wendell Harrison Distinguished Service Professor at the University of Chicago. He developed the theory of offensive realism. I'm describing John Joseph for you. The guy's a genius. Okay, now whether you agree with him or not, that's not what we're talking about. The guy's got a huge resume. In fact, you just go look it up on Wikipedia for yourself later. He's also a United States veteran. West Point, 5 years as an officer. I mean, he's got a resume, but he made some statements, and Russia is running with them. I'm going to play it for you now. Here, he made them on Napolitano, who's a goofball, but listen to the statements. Judge Andrew Napolitano. This is what was stated.
I would bet that most Ukrainians in their national security establishment or their foreign policy establishment understand that their days are numbered. I would bet that most of the foreign policy elite in the West, not all of it, but most of it, understands that Ukraine is going to lose this war and Russia is going to win. But at this point in time, they're unwilling to acknowledge that publicly. No, it'll be a devastating defeat for NATO if Ukraine is to lose this war and Russia is to.
So, of course, they blast it. Okay, they take those words and they blast it all over state media. So this is what Russians see. Well, Ukraine's going to lose. It's all over. It's a done deal. And and this is who I am. And I'm on this. And look at my history. Look at my resume. And his resume is quite impressive, to be quite honest. His opinions is like a Russian bot, but his resume is quite impressive. You can go look up John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt or John Joseph Mearsheimer. So I can't. I mean, you got to respect the man. He's a veteran, West Point. But wow, it's not what we need to hear. And I don't even like having to play that. And Zhenya has to listen to it, but it's what it is. It's what it is. And this is the mess that's always on the airwaves. That's why I was encouraging you guys earlier. Make sure you're drinking out of a good pond. Make sure you get some clean water coming in. And that clean water in that pond is not about your religious viewpoint, your political viewpoint. It's not about any of that. We all have different viewpoints. I got news for you. 524 people watching right now. And you know how many opinions are in here? 524 opinions are in here. And what is important is we take the things that we agree upon, we focus on them, and we work together to make the world a better place. That's the beauty of it, where we can take apart the things that separate us and bring together the things that make us stronger together. This is the problem with the political landscape in the world, especially the United States. We can't focus on anything but that which divides us, and it's so aggressive and nasty that all we want to do is divide, and we think by dividing we conquer. But I've got news for you. A house divided against itself can never stand. I know I quoted that from the Bible, but it's the truth, guys. No matter what your viewpoint is, a divided house will never stand. And that's exactly what the Russia propaganda does, has been doing for decades and decades and decades. And we're just catching up to it in the world. It is a word of division, and they like to destroy from the inside out. And these Americans, Europeans, falling prey to it and go, whoa, 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 whoa. No, pay attention, guys. Think with your brain for a second. It's not that hard. There is a nation being wiped off the planet right now. And we just let it keep happening. We let it continue to happen. It must stop. That's it. It must stop. All right. You can help save lives in Ukraine. There's Prof. Gertis, and he's in here tonight. And there's myself. There's Pete. Guys, we're going to have Pete on here in a day or two. So you guys get ready. Pete will be with me live. There's Fish. You can help save lives in Ukraine, and you're doing it. And this is an aid drop that Jania and I were able to do because of your goodness and your faithfulness. And I want to show it to you right now. Here you go, guys. You're helping to do this.
It's on now.
Well, guys, how about a massive aid drop that we did not plan on? And we can only do these things because of your goodness and your trust and care for us. We are really close to some of the hottest battles in this war right now. And how close are we? We are inside an ambulance, a medical vehicle. This one is, it looks like it originally came from Germany, Swiss.
З Німеччини, да? Germany.
And you can see here, guys, I'll give you a little tour. Some tourniquets hanging, and splints hanging, and neck collars right here by Jacob. And these guys are heroes here, saving people's lives. And guys, when I'm telling you we're like really close to some of the hottest battles, that's not an understatement. And we are inside the vehicle. So what have we been able to drop today? We've been able to drop a ton of socks.
Yes, different types.
Balaclavas, as we're preparing for warmer weather. Thermals, because as you can see how we're dressed, it's still cold. As you can see here, actually the stretcher with their emergency blanket already ready to go. We're supplying them with more emergency blankets. We're supplying them.
And I will give 5 more tourniquets.
We're going to give more tourniquets, Cat 7.
Я ще 5 вам дам.
Da. And then back here, we've got our Celex hemostatics that are going to the guys. We've got chest seals, tons going to the guys.
Тут по 3 комплекта, щоб да, 3 комплекта рахується.
We've got the batteries that save lives, antenna systems going to them.
The amplified antenna.
But let's look at this. Y'all ready for this, guys? This is how good you people are. All right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 batteries. Right there, just in the length of my arm, which is, of course, as tall as I am, it's massive, but that's $750 right there.
Да, вони куплялися там, типу, без
Just think about that, coming right to these guys. And that's because of you. So thank you for that. And we had big donations come in for our batteries. And we thank you. Jim, I give you a big shout out there, brother. Thank you. More antenna systems. As you
This
can see.
mobile, 3 mobile, then this one, you remember? That kind of
Yes,
antenna?
this one goes up in the tree.
Yes.
So
We ordered it. It's amplified. It's
amplifier for their communications.
And this is the other type. Antenna, maybe not understandable, but it's really effective.
Beautiful. Listen,
It has a name Spider.
the Ukrainians are customizing, guys.
Yeah.
We gave them tactical gloves.
Yes.
But you know what's really interesting? Hold
Trauma
on.
shears?
What's
Okay.
really interesting is when we pulled these out.
Yeah.
This man about had a heart attack. I need. So, хлопці, ми вас любимо. Guys, we стоїм We're з вами with you. і мир помогаємо. And the world's helping you. This is from the world.
He said, "Thank
You're very welcome. Now, I'm not finished because when I make really special friends, okay, I like to give them something. So, I have 3 World War II patches.
Це патчі з Другої світової війни. Американські?
Да, американський. Okay, from the U.S. I believe this is from the Navy. The lady told me. Her father, it's an older lady that gave me these. Her father was World War II veteran. As you can see, at that time, no Velcro.
Там
This is
нема ліпучки.
no,
в
this
той
is
час.
da, очень старый. Okay, so
пришивали
I want to
тоді.
thank you. You now have something I promise very few have. And
Не так багато мають.
so you're our friends. We thank you. Thank you.
О, дайте
Thank
мені
you.
теж
You're welcome,
краба.
brother.
Дякую.
Будь ласка. So there you go, guys. This is what it's all about. Boom! You can hear the booms going off. You know, when
I will give more of this.
When the booms are going off, this is the right vehicle to. Booms are going off. This is the right vehicle to be in. So,
Okay.
Thank you, guys. Slava Ukraina, хлопці.
Героям слава.
Guys, what can we say? Thank you. Thank you so much. Incredible. There's no Velcro back then. No. Yeah. I remember that like yesterday. It's just, of course, it was almost yesterday. So thank you. I hope that helps you see. Now, Snatch Project, that's our armored vehicles that we are purchasing, delivering to the front very soon. The numbers I have from Thursday night are $203,000. Of course, they've changed now, but our office is closed here for the Easter weekend. So tomorrow I will be getting an update on the Snatch Project. So we will be north of 203,000, of course, guys. So thank you for continuing to give through our secure links there in the description. You're doing it through other channels as well. Prof. Gertis, Rick, Mercado, Johnny, Shills, everybody working together. We're pushing now for 260,000 because we're going to deliver now four armored vehicles to the front. And I need to answer this right quick. James, I got your email, buddy. I was just traveling and get you taken care of. We'll get you taken care of. Promise you. So, but thank you. James is going to make his first Frontline aid run, and I'll get you connected with Jania. We'll get everything dialed in for you. I respect that guy so much. So thank you, James. But guys, we're going now to 4 armored vehicles. So I think we're about $57,000 away from that. So we'll smash it and get that done. So there are a couple of last things I want to have to show you tonight that I think are pretty cool. When you start to think that you've seen it all, when you begin to think in your life that you've seen it all, you need to make sure you watch Ukraine. I want to go and show you now Kherson right now. This is video out of Kherson. Of course, Kherson is destroyed. Many of these apartment buildings in not only Kherson, but all throughout Ukraine are either 5 stories or 9 stories. 5 or 9, especially the ones built that are older. Now they're making them 14, 16, and then in big cities on up there in the 30s and the 40s. Okay, but typically buildings that were built from the Soviet system into the early years of independence were either 5 stories, like a Khrushchevka, or 9 stories. In fact, Pavel Ivanovich's house is in a 5-story building. Okay. That's just the way it is. But this is a 9-story building here in Kherson. And of course, no power, but people living on the top floors still need to be able to get some water. So when you think you've seen it all, how about this? These will be the water jugs down on the bottom, and these ingenious grannies. 9-floor building. She's explaining there what they do. They have a pulley system all the way at the top. They hook the water to it in the buckets. And there it is. I mean, they'll fill the jugs up and they'll pulley them up to the top floor. These are grannies doing this. That's their song, guys. When you think you've seen it all, Granny's getting some water upstairs. And the last thing, I can tell you right now, if we can just supply the Ukrainians, they can win the war. As Johnny always says, they just need stuff. How about food delivery in Kyiv? I couldn't believe this when I saw it. Guys, this is not AI. This is not a joke. This is legit. Guy delivering food. Typically, these guys are riding around Kyiv and all the cities in Ukraine on little scooters or electric bicycles delivering these. But this guy took it to a new level. Just supply the Ukrainians, they'll get it done. Yeah, the river guy, prof. I mean, oh. Guys, I mean, James can tell you, this is exactly how they ride around Ukraine delivering. They got the thing on their back. They're typically on bicycles. This dude's in the Dnipro River. Go, man. If we can just supply them, it's over, guys. I'm telling you. So ingenious. So ingenious. That's how they're delivering their food. So very, very cool. Thank you, guys. I hope you've enjoyed the update tonight. We'll continue. We've got more video I'll be showing tomorrow night on the update from the work in Ukraine recently. We had to wait several days for it to happen. In fact, tomorrow you're going to see aid dropped right to the front line on the south somewhere. And you will hear the activity going on in the background, and we had to drop aid there in full gear. So you'll see it. That'll be tomorrow night, approximately the same time. I think we found our time that we need to be live streaming in the late afternoon here on the East Coast, unless I'm in Ukraine. So thank you guys so much for that. There's one other thing. So tomorrow also we'll have Snatch update on that. And I want to say thank you to all of you guys who've been giving during this stream. Ibag M gifting 5 memberships, 10 memberships, 15 memberships. Cats gifting a membership. Throbin Wood with 20 quid, watching 35 minutes behind, but take the time to find a full English breakfast on me. Great guy doing great work. Throbin, thank you so much for that. Q, welcome to the crew member. Blonde Bombshell 10, Leanne, Gracie, and Alex say hi. Uncle Greg, they've decided that since they are your kids, you are now Uncle Greg, sending Fish and Jania love and prayers from all of us. Okay. Uncle Greg says hello to Leanne, Gracie, and Alex. I beg 5 more memberships. Thank you guys. Those of you who've been buying coffees during that. And remember, on all of our channels, you can see them there. All of the links in the descriptions. And I know we're one big family. We're going to push and we're going to smash those 4 armored vehicles. Also, Maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day, Pete will be in here with me. We'll get Ingenious one night, and I'll be with Johnny. Tomorrow night with Mercado, be with Prof. Shills Saturday. We're rolling, guys. We're going to get it done, and together we make a big, big, big team. You guys be blessed, and we will see you later. And I think this is the best one to close out with. Ingenious giving all of you guys the fist bump. Have a good night.
Слава Україні!